What's up, everybody? It is episode 3 of Gears Unlimited. This is going to be our last one before San Diego, and we got a lot of action to cover, so let's hop right into it. Alright guys, before we get into our Pro League matches in depth, let's talk about some of the things that you may have missed since the last episode. Between now and then, we've had a title update come out for Gears. In this title update, it brought changes to the rank system, the boom shot, and flash grenades. So if you guys haven't had a chance to hop on Gears since then, make sure you hop on, play the game, and let us know what you think about it. This week on Gears Unlimited, my guest is gonna be PR. We'll be talking about how can you better prepare going into a major event. With San Diego coming around the corner, we felt like this would be some great information for you guys because we want to see some of the best games possible in San Diego. Before we hop into that, let's recap our scores for the week. Now that you guys got the updates for the Pro Leagues, let's talk about our Challenger Series. We know that every Sunday we have teams battling it out for Challenger points so that when relegation comes along after our majors, they can have their opportunity to get into the Pro Leagues. So let's recap our winners for the week. We got Rated R versus Obey Alliance. Let's get into it. Map number 1, Asylum. It was a close one. We already got drop shots placed on center line per Obey, but Rated R, in the later portions of this map, they win 3 rounds in a row from clean power weapon usage to get the score to 6-4. You have Rated R able to close this map out and take it 7-4. Map number 2, Icebound. Rated R comes out swinging, and they win the first 3 rounds in a row through the helps of Leonard, Sergio, and Dragons. All these guys in double-digit eliminations and less than 2 deaths apiece. But Obey, they said enough is enough. Now we get to round 13 and TJ. He leads the top of the kill feed, and he also helps his team secure the round 13 to send them to map 3. Map 3, Vasgar. We're tied up again 4-4, but in the end, it was Obey Alliance who rose to the occasion. Starkey puts on a clinic. Through great rotations and teamwork, Obey Alliance secured the map number 3 and the victory. Moving on to our next matchup, EU's Finest versus R Damage. This is one that we've seen time and time again throughout Gears 4. Now, let's see who will lead the division and be the kings of Europe. Map number 1, District. EU's Finest wins 4 rounds in a row, and it looks like they have full control over this game. As the map progresses on, each team builds towards their strengths. EU Finest focuses on a Torque Bow. R Damage focuses on M-Bar. But it was R Damage who focuses on a 2-hill setup, and that was exactly what they needed to lock this map down and send us to map number 2, winning it in round 13. Now we head into map number 2, Bunker, after coming off a crazy round 13. We get to 3-3, but a few clutch plays from Phelpsy helps EU's Finest pull away. But in round 11, Strikers gave EU's Finest a lesson on how to use that Torque Bow, and he gets his team to match point. But EU's Finest, they win the last 2 rounds and send us to a map 3. In map number 3, EU's Finest, they took the momentum from that big win on Bunker, and it carried them through the first 7 rounds. They start off with a 5-2 lead. But in the end, R Damage, they had lost full momentum. And EU's Finest finishes off the map, and they take the lead in the European division. As you've seen, our European division was crazy, but guess what? LATAM brought just as much action. Astral and Fire and Ice, let's get into it. Map number 1, District. You see Astral, they come out hot, they get a few rounds. But we saw who was really hot. It was Fire and Ice, led by Choche. And coming into this week, it was Raver leading the league in eliminations. And he showed us why as well. Fire and Ice, they come out and they take map number 1 on District 7-3. Now we head into map number 2, Vasgar. Estral did not fold over whatsoever. They set an impressive statement and they destroy Fire and Ice 7-0, being led by the boys of Cardia and Adverse. We go into map number 3 to decide who's gonna wear the crown in the division. Fire and Ice, they've been waiting for this moment, but it was Estral. More importantly, it was Crack, who comes out making impressive plays, showing his composure, resilience, and pressure on the map, and they defeat Fire and Ice 7-1. It's Estral who comes out on top, and they're leading into that first position in the LATAM Pro League. Next up is EGYX versus Ghost, fighting it to see who gets the 3rd position in the division. Let's find out. Map number 1, Training Grounds. EGYX, they get off to a strong start, but Ghost Gaming, having flashbacks of the week before, they know that they can perform better, and in this moment, they made that decision as a unit, and they take control over this map, and they win it. Map number 2, Exhibit. EGYX, if they want to turn the series around, they have to do it now. But Ghost Gaming, looking like they're in mid-season form, they come out and they don't allow EGYX to get away with anything. Straight domination and a 7-2 victory. Ghost Gaming secures the 3rd spot in the LATAM Pro League. Now, as you know, before our Pro League starts on Sunday, we do have matches played before the stream starts. This week, it was Rise Nation versus Reciprocity. Map number 1 on District, it was Reciprocity, straight domination. They take it 7-1. We go into map number 2, Training Grounds. Rise Nation, once again, they show us how talented they are at this map, and they also make a huge statement, and they win it 7-0, and you gotta give Detox a lot of credit with those 40 eliminations. You head over to map number 3, Asylum of Vexies. He tried everything in which he could to get this secured for Rise Nation, but in the end, even after his 54 eliminations, Reciprocity showed a true team effort, and they take map number 3 on Asylum 7-4. Now we head over to the matches in which we had on Pro League Live. NRG and Work Harder, map number 1, Exhibit. NRG, they come out firing straight out the gates, and this looked like a repeat from the first time in which we seen these guys play in week 2 of the Pro League. NRG, they take the map 7-2, and even though the score wasn't that close, Work Harder had a lot of close rounds, and it doesn't fully tell the story. We head into map number 2, Icebound, in which resulted in another 7-2 victory in favor of NRG, but I gotta say it again. The score did not tell the story. Work Harder had a lot of close rounds, but they did not have what it takes to best the best team in the league. More importantly, they did not have what it takes to take out Mental. He put up an impressive 6.0 KDA against Work Harder once again in this series, and it showed in the scoreline. Now we head into Mazer versus Simplicity. It's map number 1 on Bunker, and we know that Mazer have gave us some of the closest games in which we've seen all season, and this series is no different. Map number 1, Bunker. Mazer Gaming will take it 7-5, and you gotta give Exclusive and Lava all the credit. Lava with his power weapon usage and Exclusive with a bunch of creative flanks keeps the pressure on their opponents, and they end up taking that map. Map number 2 was Icebound. Simplicity on a debut of Pro League Live looking for their first map win, and there's no better players than the duo of Zerp and Jerp to get it done. Zerpting showing those turbo skills to clutch up a few major rounds for Simplicity, and Jerp putting up that stat line, 45 eliminations, 7 deaths. You couldn't ask for more of a better performance from him. Simplicity, they lock map number 2 in 7-5. Now we head over to map number 3 on Vasgar. Mazer, they did not disappoint, giving us a close series in simplicity, showing us some creative plays when it comes down to the weapon placement and rotations. In the end, some mismanagements on respawns was the last nail in the coffin for simplicity. In the crucial round 12, Toy Soldier just could not get back into the game, and Simplicity had to play down a man. At that point, Mazer Gaming just took their time, and they was able to close out the map 7-5 and take the first place spot in Division Bravo. Now, as you guys know, we do have one of our Pro League matches played off stream at the end of Pro League Live. This week, it was Gods versus Hive. Now we head into map number 1, is Training Grounds. Both these rosters looking equally matched, trading off a lot of these early rounds. But in the end, we get ourselves a round 13. But it's the boys of Hive who gets it done in the end, and they close out map number 1. Now we head into map number 2, Exhibit. Early on, once again, both these teams showing how equally matched they are. But in the end, Hive takes the map 7-4. He's no stranger to my home. So PR, come on to the show. Welcome to your first time on Gears Unlimited.
Dropping in.
My man, yo, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yep.
2 days. We know that teams, they get online, they scrim, they practice, but are they practicing perfectly? Are they getting that perfect practice in? Are they getting the right nutrition in before the event? Like, what should they be worried about? And I feel like this was a great episode for us to go over that checklist.
I see it from casting. I see it when I watch these players' streams. There's just a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad practice habits, a lot of things these teams, both players and coaches, can do better to position themselves for a better performance at these events.
Firstly, I want you to tell the audience who are you, who is PR? They see you casting these Pro League Lives, they see you at the events, but how did you get into Gears of War and how did you get into casting?
So my name is Jacob, also known as PR. I got into Gears of War through my brother Dizzle in 2006.
Shout out Dizzle.
He actually got the Xbox. I remember him coming home from Walmart and actually bringing home like 6-7 games, NBA, ESPN, and Gears of War was one of them. And just after seeing it and playing it and how dark it was and that clutch factor through execution and just having to realistically be on your toes at all times, that actually got me hooked. Coming from Ghost Recon to Halo to then Gears, there's nothing like it at all.
Now, since I got you on the show today, one thing I want to talk about, break down to us some of the top performers across the board that you want to really highlight.
KDA is something that we talked about. It's kills, deaths, and assists. Eliminations carries both kills and assists, and obviously death column is the deaths.
Yeah.
But mental over a 3.38, I think, in a KDA, and then you got Jeff right below him, then even Lava again. I think.
And Jerpy.
Yeah, Lava, and that's just insane because Lava is somebody that after he got released from Optic Gaming, a lot of people kind of threw him in the dirt, didn't really give him enough credit, and then it's really exciting to see him refine himself in this Pro League. But on the other side, Jeff is just a guy that he gets credit from some people, but since he's not a superstar, he's not loud, he's not one of those guys that's going to go on Twitter and make a lot of noise, he doesn't normally get enough fan credit.
Mazer's a team that has done such a good job when it comes down to perfecting their play styles. And I do want to say is that all three of those players are in the top eliminations, exclusives, Mortifies, and Lava, but also Mazer has played the most rounds.
Yep.
We've talked a lot about Mazer being that team with their backs against the wall. They're always going the distance, but they're always finishing strong.
Yep, and realistically, you talk about those rounds, top eliminations, but that kind of...
About 130 rounds Mazer have played. Yep. And to give you guys, a comparison, NRG, when it comes down to North American teams, they're third at the bottom of the list with about 90 rounds played. So 40 less rounds than Mazer, and they're sitting at 4-0.
To me, that's just impressive. On the side of Mazer, they're having a lot of game threes and a lot of close matches. Luckily for them, they're able to come out on top, but that's kind of like the double-edged sword. They have a ton of eliminations, but it's double-edged sword for that is they're all 5 in the top for deaths as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully they can listen to some of these tips to lower that out.
I want to go into tips for going into San Diego. So let's kind of break this down into a few sections. So, online, offline, at the tournament, before the tournament. What makes perfect practice online?
First thing you guys got to do is realize the difference between practicing with a purpose and practicing. Because a lot of times I see a lot of these lower end top teams, or even you going into these amateur teams, is they get on, they practice, they play a map, that's it. It's just knowing the difference between practicing with purpose and just playing. A lot of times we see teams play a map, play 2 maps, go to the next cycle, and it's rinse and repeat. But realizing your mistakes, let's just see, for example, you know, the last tournament you played, we lost because of that boom shot placement we weren't familiar with. So when you're going to that next scrim, that next map, whether you're playing it on Asylum, for example, you throw that boom shot down there yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you try to take one step further we haven't seen in Gears of War so far. Maybe you talk to the other team beforehand and you get on the same page and you start to practice certain weapon placements, certain things like that. And then another thing is maybe you lost because we had 60 seconds and we lost 250, 249. So what you're going to do as a coach, you get your stopwatch timer out, or maybe use the in-game timer on the scoreboard. Hey, you guys have to win in 1:30, or you guys can take it up as a loss.
If teams are not adding purpose to their practice, essentially they're just getting these reps in, right?
Yep.
But we do know that Gears is a game of repetition. You know, when it comes down to the power weapons, you know, even just being more accurate with them, we've seen players just hop in the lobby with bots and just get repetitions of revving, shooting, you know, hitting crazy shots with the drop shot. You never know, or you never learn something new unless you get multiple reps in, right? If a team comes together and say, hey guys, today we're working on our center line placements here down low. Once you guys come to the decision as a team that you're on the same page and you're working towards this goal, even if you lose scrims, it should not matter. Because what happens is that we're seeing that is when teams don't set goals, they only have one goal, right? And that's to win the map.
Yep.
If you didn't set a goal before, the only goal you have is to win that map. So teams go in, they start losing scrims and they start getting discouraged and they start dropping teammates. But if you guys literally walked in there and said, hey, today guys, we're working on this, win or lose, you worked on it.
Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to learn to beat NRG tomorrow. You're not going to form a team to beat Reciprocity tomorrow. You guys got to realize it takes one step at a time, one round at a time. As long as you guys have like-minded thoughts of wanting to get better, wanting to do what you guys have to get better. Because one thing we both see is I'm grinding. I'm grinding. But a lot of these guys don't even really know the definition of grind. You know what I mean? You got to do something you don't like for the purpose of being successful.
Now, after goal setting, who is gonna hold you accountable, right? This is where leadership comes into play. This is where the IGL comes into play. We talk a lot about explosives being that, you know, marquee IGL for most teams, but a lot of people don't understand what does that mean for a player.
It's realistically knowing your game plan. You know, Explosive has a phenomenal coach as well in Ashes, and they work together. They formulate a game plan, and then they execute it. And the thing about having that IGL, and you need to make sure it's somebody who's very well respected on the team. You don't have to necessarily get along with a person to respect them. But you have to make sure that you respect their decisions in and out of game. So wherever, say Explosive as an example, if he says go push that, in your head you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna die. You have to have the respect to listen to your IGL, listen to your leader, push it. There's a reason why he's telling you to do it, and even if you die, you could still achieve the good team goal, because maybe your purpose is to die there. That way you distract one side of the map, and then the other side is making a successful push.
As I'm seeing a play unfold in that present moment during a round, I see a few things that my teammates can do to help us get to that goal. So in that moment, you call out, hey, you go to point A, you go to point C, we're going to point D, ready, set, break, and you go. But if somebody does not go, even if I called a bad play as a team, we will never know because you didn't do it.
Exactly. So one thing I used to tell the Ghost Boys when I would coach them is sometimes it's not about being right or wrong. It's about just listening and doing it, because a lot of times it's much harder to learn to listen than to learn what the right play is. Because exactly what you said, during practice, during repetitions, you make that wrong play enough, you learn to make the right play.
Say that L word again.
You listen. You listen, because like you said, you make the wrong play enough times, you're gonna learn what the right play is. But guess what? You're making those plays as a team. You're not only respecting the IGL, but you gotta respect your coach. You got to respect your coach. You gotta have some sort of respect there, because the coach is there to help you. The coach is there to have the same goal as you. If you don't think your coach is good, if you don't trust your coach, why is he there? Why is you have a sixth voice in the mix, possibly throwing plays, possibly throwing different things at you, and if you don't respect them, you don't listen to them, there's no point. So when you pick up a coach, give them the benefit of the doubt. You have to give the coach the benefit of the doubt until they prove you right or wrong, or whatever the case may be. This is your job just as much. You need to show the same respect to your organization, to your teammates, to even the tournament organizer, in which you would show your parents almost.
That professionalism is so key. So going into this tournament, we actually have a new format from Gears of War 4. This time our champ bracket will be single elimination. Now, before you get to the champ bracket, we have all our division teams coming in around the world, and they're gonna be playing a Swiss stage to decide how they get seeded into there. But then we also have 8 open bracket teams, 4 from winners, 4 from losers, going into that Swiss stage as well. So now we're gonna have about 20 teams in this bracket, and the top performers of the Switch stage will get like first round buys. But at the end of the day, it's still single elimination, so the pressure there is gonna be crazy. So what I wanna talk about is, to kick this conversation off, is that as an open bracket team and as a Switch stage team, what type of mindset do you have to have preparing for that?
The mindset of an open bracket team, you kind of have to be a shark. You have to be a shark in the water, ready to strike at any time, because realistically, you can get upset in the open bracket. You could sleep on a team, and anything could happen. So as soon as you guys wake up on Friday, you got to be ready to go. It might even start on Thursday night, getting that good night's sleep beforehand. You got to be up, ready to go. You talked about diet, get a good breakfast, and then you go in ready to just win the tournament on Friday, because that's what you kind of got to do. You got to win that open bracket on Friday. Not necessarily win, but you got to perform very well on Friday in order to even make it.
The tournament may start on Friday, but preparation for that tournament starts on Thursday. And so, and this actually is good for whether if you're in open bracket or Switch stage, you know, first off, what you eating on Thursday, what you drinking on Thursday, don't be out too late, the amount of sleep that you get before you get into that event, so crucial, right? But, you know, as an open bracket team, one thing that you are able to do is look forward ahead to the teams that you may end up playing as you get to those top 4 positions of the bracket, so you can move out during that champ side. Do they got any weak players? You know, is there somebody that you can single out? You know, we know trash talk is a big thing. And open bracket is really huge as well, because you got those guys sitting directly across from you on the other side.
Yep, and another thing I want to add to all that is keeping yourself with the right level of energy going in. You don't want to start getting sluggish. You don't want to start yawning, because one of the worst things you can do is when you sit down, start plugging your controller, getting ready to warm up, and you start yawning like crazy. That's one of the worst things you could do, and that kind of goes back to Thursday night and how you prepared, maybe even how you acted on the morning of Friday and things like that. So you got to keep your energy levels, I wouldn't say necessarily at all-time high, because eventually you're going to run out of energy, but you got to keep them above at least the 50-60%.
You said something great, right? It's pacing yourself, right? Pacing yourself for the tournament. When it goes into playing pool play, in this event, it's going to be called the Switch stage, but we do have 2 pools. But when it comes down to playing that, you gotta take every match seriously. You know, granted, you can't be eliminated from a tournament at that stage, but you still gotta play every game as if you are gonna be eliminated. Because let's say that, you know, you do win all these games, it was easy, but by the time you got to that champ bracket, that's gonna be the first pressure you felt all tournament, when you could have been feeling that pressure on your first out of 4 matches in the Swiss stage.
Yeah, and it also decides the seeding for the tournament, because you got to play every match your hardest, because you don't want to draw the unlucky pool where you're facing NRG, Reciprocity first round, because that sets yourself up for an uphill battle that you really don't want to take that adventure on. So realistically, you just got to take it one match at a time. But if you, for some reason, you have that bad match and you somehow don't come out on top, you lose. I think Eskamani said it best when you talk to him, where you got to have that pitcher's mentality.
Yeah.
You got to be able to forget the bad map that you just had and move forward and go past that. Because you got that next match.
Yeah.
And then you got another match. And then the tournament or the championship bracket starts, and that's where the matches really matter. So if you're down on yourself, you have a bad Friday, one of 2 things is going to happen going into Saturday. You're either going to be down on yourself still, knowing you have pressure to perform, or you're going to be like, okay, we made mistakes, we adapted, and now we're ready to play our game.
Something I want to also talk about is your seeding order as a team. When you were coaching, did you guys have any method to that as you guys were choosing where players were going to sit on the stage?
Usually we had our IGL or one of our more vocal players towards the center somewhere, whether it's the actual center or maybe the off center's positions. And then from there, you kind of put your most quiet players next to that player, whether it be in the middle or maybe kind of right next to them. And then from there, you might position your players that play a lot of spot together right next to each other, because that allows them to do that little bit of a small talk, that allows them to look at each other's screen, because a lot of times people don't know, when you're on LAN, the coach obviously looks at everybody's screens, but the players, those seating arrangements matter, because being able to get that extra look of your player's screen and angle that you don't get on your screen helps a ton.
Sitting next to somebody and playing next to him on the map.
Yep, and then usually you want to put your solo players, your home hill players over on the outer end, because typically they're usually the quietest. You see Summon, Strix, those type of players. They're not a men of many words. They do get the job done, but that's usually, you see them on the sidelines.
And whatever your team's identity is, the coach should always be embodying that identity at all times. Win or lose, they should always be the utmost professional person on that roster. And the last tip that I wanted to give, that I think as a caster watching something that I see teams, the biggest mistake that I see teams make that coaches can help, is when it comes down to weapon respawn timers and making sure players are in the right positions to get those power weapons. So if you're tracking those weapon respawn timers on a timer, on a clock, and you see it's coming up in 20 seconds, find the closest player in your team to it and let him know, hey, don't go nowhere. If that power weapon's coming up, you're grabbing it. Let them know, hey, you guys got to back up. Power weapon's coming.
I want to piggyback on your tip, because a lot of people think because of Gears of War 5, those weapon timers are actually in the game now, right? So you got to make sure your coach knows, don't get lazy.
Yeah.
That's not a reason for you to get lazy. You do your job all the same, because sometimes there are moments where everything is going on. It's so hectic, flashes smoking and crossing, people dying everywhere.
Because if you know the weapon's going to come up
in 15
seconds,
seconds,
you don't
but
need to
that
start
fight's going down. Exactly. Run away from the fight. Reposition yourself. There's so many different options available. The coach just needs to know, I can't get lazy here just because the timer's there.
PR, I think we covered a lot today on our show when it comes down to, tips pre-tournament, tips during a tournament, coaching tips pre and post tournament, pre and during tournament as well.
Because you don't want to come back after the event, I could have done this better. Imagine if I slept a couple extra hours. Imagine I eat that Chick-fil-A and put a boulder in my stomach.
And I would say this, that when I came home and I lost at tournaments, the one thing I always beat myself up about is that if I didn't make the play. Now, when I introduced you on the show, I welcomed you on as this was your first time on Gears Unlimited, but you've actually been on the show once before.
Yeah.
But you were at home and we played in the Astro battles. Now,
And what happened?
I must say, I am still a little bit hurt from that.
Why?
Okay.
Go ahead, tell me.
Okay, you beat me. Okay, see how cocky he is already? You see the energy you giving me in my own house? The fact that you got me, I'm a little bit upset about, but it's okay. I'm gonna need my rematch from you. Because
you want a rematch?
Yeah, because you saw my team.
I did. I'm sorry.
Okay? You had Shmay, okay? Mr. Thunder from Down Under.
Oh,
And
Infinite.
Infinite Shmay. They call him Infinite for a reason.
Yep.
And then you had Ryan himself, okay? Trash Talk King. All right? Ryan was living in Shady's head before the game even started.
I was about to say, he was in the head cooking up some bacon for us because he knew we were about to win.
All right, then. So, okay, rematch. Me and you right now.
Right now? Let's get it.
Right now? All right, let's get it.
1v1 arms race.
It's gonna be fun.
I feel like us as casters and analysts, we need to know how to use every single gun in the game. And now is that time to see who really has a true understanding.
Let's go. I got that new Chrome Steel Elite Hunter, guys, with my Ghost Gaming weapon skins. Where did you spawn? You didn't spawn in that same spot. Oh, shit.
No, that was gonna be a headshot.
That was slick as fuck. I didn't see you there as first. Fuck.
Ooh.
I see.
Let's go. Splash damage, baby.
Stay down.
Yikes, bro. Can I get an active boom? Nope. No act. Oh, jammer reload.
Oh, this is I was gonna say, this is an interesting angle. Oh. All about who starts that fire first.
I really thought you reloaded. I went to push you with an active claw.
Yeah, I'm like resetting it in the middle each time. Let's go. Come on, man. I know you can outshoot me with that claw. Ooh.
This thing is something else. The amount of recoil on this thing.
And yeah, that's why you just gotta hold it. Oh.
No, I remember how to use it, but I just don't do it like I'm supposed to.
Do I even make it there in time is the question.
Yeah, you do. There's no way you don't. Fuck, there's no way I'm beating you now.
No.
Fuck, I honestly got scared you were gonna get away.
I said yo, right? I thought I was. Oh no, that was unfortunate. That was that was really unfortunate
Scared
actually.
the shit out of me. And then I'll try and... Oh my god!
I got a hit marker.
Bro! I was one fucking non-A button press away from fucking dying to that. I have no fucking ammo, bro.
Yo, me neither. I'm
Okay.
right now.
Oh, fuck, bro. I just went through 7 drops and then instantly go one. Oh, I fucking died.
Nah, that was good. That was
This is
good.
gonna be so fucking hard though.
Ah! I should have damaged you and stabbed you after that point.
What?
Not so
69?
I had enough of you. Oh, fuck this.
Well, that doesn't down you?
Fucking nail it. GG's.
Jeez. That
I
was
am
fun though.
officially 0-3 on Gears Unlimited, and I'm gonna take my L's like a man.
world from human hands.
It was fun though. That was actually some fun Gears.
It was.
Now, as I said before, this is gonna be our last episode before San Diego. We got 2 weeks of Pro League Live left, and there's a few key matchups I want you guys to be on the lookout for. Reciprocity versus NRG. That matchup will decide who comes out #1 in North American Division Alpha. In North American Division Bravo, Mazer Gaming versus Hive will decide who comes out on top there. In the LATAM Pro League, you're gonna have Ghost Gaming versus Astral coming up to decide who will be able to take the top spot in that division. And last but not least, San Diego coming up December 6th through the 8th. It's our last event of the year, but first event of the season. You guys got a chance to hear me and PR give out tips for teams to perform at their best. Now make sure you guys tune in to see who actually takes some of our advice, but most importantly, who's gonna lift our first trophy of the season. All right, that's gonna be it from me here at Gears Unlimited. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you after San Diego.